Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hotline Classic Remastered. And this time we take a look at the 1964 Lotus Elan S2. Our first classic Lotus to take on the course, and it comes in a truly bizarre colour scheme, this. There are definitely colour schemes on this race mod that work better, but as soon as I saw I can have purple, green and gold wheels, I was like, yeah, I need to get on that. Truly a bizarre looking thing. But then again, the Elan is quite bizarre looking anyway, and statistically quite bizarre as well. Front engine and rear wheel drive, 213 horsepower, 568 kilos. This is probably one of the lightest cars we'll see. The only things that I can think that would be lighter than this is like the Fiat 500 and the Subaru 360, and maybe the Midget. But yeah, this is insanely light, and statistically that does worry me a little bit. You see, Lotuses have not been very good around this course. The Esprits are okay, but the Elises are not. The quickest Elise we've had is currently sat in 181st place with a 31.519. So, yeah, it's sort of in the bottom quarter of the leaderboard. So, we'll see how the older Elan does. Hopefully it's quicker, and that will be quite an interesting little shock to the system, but we will find out. Anyways, this is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Elan track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Toyota Celica Rally Car, set a time of 27.552. The Lotus Elan is not likely at all to beat that. You know how I was saying this thing is bizarre? It has like a Formula 1 reflector on the back of it now, thanks to this race mod, and a mid-mounted exhaust, which texture-wise looks like it's cut off at a slightly weird angle. That is strange. So, straight away, the Elan feels better than the Elises do. This doesn't feel nearly as jittery on the bumps, which is quite surprising considering it weighs, well, as little as it does. The Elise, weight-wise, isn't too bad. I think the Elise weighs about 600 odd kilos. But it just, when you're going over the bumps and stuff in the Elise, it feels very jittery and weird, and that does reflect in the lap time. And also it's just not a very good car with like throttle delivery and all that. Whereas this, with its 213 horsepower, isn't too bad. In terms of power to weight ratio, this probably has one of the better ones in the series, but it doesn't count for as much as you'd think. It's one of those cars that, in theory, if you take the idea that this is done in Gran Turismo 2 out of it and do it on, like, I don't know, insert racing sim of choice, the Elan would probably be one of the quicker cars because, like I say, power to weight, it's light, it's darty, it'd probably be quite good for this sort of stuff, as would like the wardrobes and the hatchbacks and stuff. But obviously this series is not grounded in reality, it's grounded in Gran Turismo 2 logic, so yeah. 31.727 so far is not filling me full of confidence for the little Elan. It can definitely go quicker, although apparently I really nailed that coming off the bumps on that first sector. It's a little bit slidey off the grass, which is to be expected for a car of, well, this size and weight and so on. But it's not bad. Come on, final lap. A little bit on the grass on the way into this, which is not ideal. There we go. That was a decent drive out of there. Brakes are not quite as good as you'd maybe expect from a car of this size and weight class. A little bit messy on the exit of there. Get it turning for the final corner. To the line, 31.595. So it's not as quick as the front wheel drive Elan, it's not as quick as the quickest Elise. It is quicker than the Elise Sport 135 that we've also had round, so You know, for this type of car, that's pretty good. I mean, considering how old it is, and the Elise definitely has a power advantage, which at this sort of power point, it does make a difference. That's quite good. Yeah, the lap 4 apparently had an amazing first sector and just sort of pissed it away. But we should always sort of take that with caution, because a quick sector 1 doesn't quite feed into a quick sector 2 just because of the way the sectors are. Interesting, I was saying the lack of power, it's only very slightly slower than that GS400 in terms of top speed. Anyways, a 31.595 puts this into 189th place. It ties with the Peugeot 306 rally car. It is quicker than a Stahl Galanza. As I mentioned, between the Elises, it basically splits them. Sport 135 is in 199th with a 31.811, and the quickest Elise is 181st. So it sort of sits directly in the middle of those. Lots of front-wheel drive hatchbacks around this area. I think the S4 Sprint, which is the newer version of this, although that's still from 1971, probably going to be a better car. I think the Europa might end up being one of the quicker Lotuses because 300 horsepower, but a valiant effort from the little Elan. And in terms of vintage, 1964, this is definitely one of the oldest cars in the game. Actually, it might be the oldest, come to think of it. It's like this and like the Subaru 360 as like the oldest cars in the game. So that's definitely not a bad time from the old timer. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.